So welcome back, guys. Obviously I'm super excited to get these old headlights out and some of the new Alpharex headlights in. Now in this video I'm going to explain to you kind of some pros and cons as to why I'm switching over to a plug and play kit rather than just running some custom built headlights. So obviously these were built by me. These weren't built by any type of a company or anything like that they typically are. Now, one of the biggest things about running custom headlights is you have a huge freaking rat's nest. This is just a few of the wires, and once I get this more out, I will show you how much wiring that I have to deal with. Now, on top of all that, if you're not actually building your headlights with me building them, I kind of knew how things were supposed to be wired up, where things went. But in the past, whenever I first got my set of custom built headlights through Primo Dynamic Lighting, worst company ever, never go through them. I had got headlights from them and they sent me just a bunch of wires and nothing was plugged in, and they didn't have any directions on how to put anything together. So with the horrible customer service that they had, after finally figuring out that they hadn't sent me the entire harness, okay, well, you know, they sent me a few more stuff out. I finally got it figured out through their step-by-step. It took about a day every single day for them to give me one single step on how to do stuff. So if you're not like electrically inclined and you don't really know what you're messing with, then you're not really gonna know how to put it together, because there are some of you that'll be like, it's not really that hard. I got my set and it was pretty straightforward. But some of us that are just getting into the truck scene, getting a first set of headlights and everything like that, we don't really know how everything is supposed to work. And I just feel like over time, these headlights fail one way or another. Now, everyone's gonna say the same thing. Well, it depends on who built them, the quality, blah, blah, this and that. To me personally, between that set and this one that I hand built myself, obviously it was my first set, over time I had little issues here and there and I always had to keep messing with it. But with Alpharex headlights, from what I've heard, they have great customer service and actually get back with you. Now, if you had a custom set of built headlights fail on you, you're gonna have to pull these things out. It's gonna take a week or so to get back to them. They're gonna mess with it for a few weeks, and then another week or so to get back to you once again, because they're custom built. They have to break the seal, they have to pull apart the projector, they have to look inside, see what wire is burnt, crimped, what went wrong with it. And so it's just a huge hassle. So that's a lot of the reason that I ended up switching over to Alpharex headlights rather than running some custom ones. Although yes, they look good, I would rather go over reliability and looks rather than custom features and less reliability. Let me pull these out real quick. I'll show you the rat's nest that I'm having to deal with, and this is the harness and everything that it comes with. I use a lot of Morimoto stuff, so I'll kind of show you what I'm dealing with here and how it was set up. And so I got my harness pulled off of my projector headlights, and believe it or not, this is a condensed harness. Now, if you get the custom built headlights with the chasing RGB lights, you know, all the fancy color shifting and everything, you're gonna have a lot more wiring than just this. This is a simpler version, believe it or not. And so you look at this bad boy and it's taller than I am. Now, when we go over to Alpharex's wiring harness, this is all you got. You got your fuse tap, positive and negative, and then your leads that plug into your headlights. Now tell me that this is not going to be something a lot easier and simpler to install and to hide and keep your engine bay clean, rather than your 25,000 feet of cable. So after showing you guys a wiring harness and everything and kind of explaining a few pros and cons, I hope this bad boy right here kind of changes your mind. Now, this Alpharex headlight has quad freaking projectors, and from all the reviews and everything that I've heard, I've watched a few videos, everyone talks about how insanely bright that these things are. And not only insanely bright, but just, you're telling me that that does not look beautiful. And now you're telling me that I can literally just buy a headlight like this that's straight plug and play, and I don't have to mess or worry about someone building them right. That blows my mind. I don't know. For me, it's really personal because I have had a lot of ups and downs going through headlights, and I've always struggled with them. So to me, this is kind of personal, and I'm just like mind blown by how beautiful these freaking headlights are. Now I want to see how bright they are and see what that little C shape right there does. Now it's supposed to do something pretty cool, so let's find out what it is. So we got this side headlight wired up and installed and everything, so I'm going to show you how I did it. Now there's one thing that kind of threw me off a little bit on the wiring, so this is the best way that I understood on how to plug it in. So I'm going to show you how I did it in case you guys run into this issue. Now I put these custom headlights in my truck. I built them probably about 3 years ago, so I don't know if this is something that I ended up cutting off a while back or something like that. So let me know if your guys' harness is like this or if it was just a weird way that I had to do it, but it looks like it should work out just fine. So I'm sorry about the wind. Here you have the plugs that run into the headlight. This is going to be the fat boy right here, just plugs right in. And then you got your little running light, I believe, and then this should be the turn signal out. Now this is the weird thing that I was talking about, this part right here, because that at a factory is this plug right here. Now I'm not sure why this isn't an actual switch, why it's a plug like this and not a plug that goes into this, but what I ended up doing is pulling out the head of that. That is this right here. And so all the end of your plugs are gonna look like this. Now what I ended up doing is grabbing some pliers and pinching it right there in the middle to kind of close that gap and make it a little tighter so that it can plug into these two spots here. Now it's pretty snug in there. That's not gonna come out. There shouldn't be any water to get in there as well, because it also has this little waterproof seal that goes over and it presses into there. And I'll show you what I did on the other side. And so what I'm gonna end up doing is just putting some electrical tape on this to cover it, to close up that end. This will sit in here, this little waterproof seal will cover it up, and I'll show you what it looks like here in a second. And so here is the little electrical tape cap off, just so that there isn't an exposed wire sitting in there. It shouldn't touch anything, but there's not a green wire, just a black and yellow, so that's kind of why I did that. So I'm gonna cram it back in there. And after you get the wires and everything back in there, it should look like that. I mean, it looks factory, and I don't think there should be really any moisture, but I'll probably end up doing is just kind of wrapping these three just at the very end right here with some electrical tape, just to make sure that they stay together and that they don't end up wiggling loose in there at some point in time. And I know that this may not be the cleanest little job right here, but this is just to ensure that it doesn't wiggle loose, and it's just better to be safe than sorry. And so after I got everything plugged in, don't forget on your harness, you have to plug this into the brown wire that leads out of your headlights. And what I did with my harness is, I haven't finished cleaning it up yet, but I'm gonna run this underneath my plastic molding that I ever so need to replace. So you plug her in, you'll hear her click. I like to pass those a little bit over, more of a seal. These two little clear things, just push them together so it overlaps a little bit. Before you finish tucking everything in and screwing stuff down, don't forget to double check and make sure you have everything plugged in. Go inside, turn your headlights on, make sure that your turn signal, the little switchback C is running on, your high beams and low beams and everything, so that you don't end up screwing everything together and then finding out, oh, this came unplugged, and have to come over here and tear it apart again. So that's in. We're gonna finish wiring up the rest of the harness that runs through here to clean it up more, and then I'll show you guys what these bad boys do. So we got them on, and I'll show you guys a little more than tomorrow, because it's like freaking tornado weather right now, and it's super miserable trying to shoot this video. So we'll pick up on it tomorrow. So today's obviously a lot better day, less wind. So I'm sorry about all that if it's kind of hard to understand. After you have gone through, ran your wiring and everything through the truck, and you kind of have it hidden kind of where you want it, one of the last things they have to do is this gray wire here is for a fuse tap. Now I ordered this right here off Amazon. It's a little fuse tap. I think it was $6, and it comes with 3 of them. That is gonna plug into this. So what I'll end up doing is putting this on here, crimp it, grab this, and we will plug it in over here. So you'll remove the fuse box panel here underneath your engine bay. You're gonna have a number 10 fuse here, a number 10 there, and you'll grab your fuse tap and plug it into that, and that's what you'll end up using for that. What we ended up doing is ran the rest of the wiring harness down here underneath this plastic thing that I need to replace, and plugged in the headlights, fuse tap sitting up there. And honestly, the wiring on this was very simple and straightforward. I am somewhat electrically inclined or whatever, but I feel like with even the most basic electrical experience, anybody could do this. So I'm also going to post the step-by-step guide that Alpharex sent me down here in the description if you're having any issues or anything like that. Alpharex also has a very good response rate, so if you guys have any questions, you can hit them up on Instagram. and they should be able to help you get whatever issues you have figured out. But honestly, it was so straightforward and easy to install these. But I'm really glad that I went with these. It cleaned the crap out of my engine bay. I'm super excited with how these function and everything. So let me stop talking so much about it and let me show you what these bad boys do, their functionality, and why I am so in love with these freaking headlights. So this right here is the startup on the headlights. That is so clean. And then the next one is gonna be the turn signals, which right now we just have it on the hazards. And that is both sides simultaneously. I'm doing more of this one so there's a little less glare so you can see the whole headlight. And then here you have the headlights themselves on. Now high beam, back to low beam. But these are super clean. It does not have those little running little blocks going up and down it. That is just the way the camera reacts to the LEDs and everything. So if you're looking at it with your naked eye, this is a solid beam that stays LED white. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. It has been a long time coming. I literally been waiting years for Alpharex to finally release something for the Super Duties, the 06 style and everything. So if you haven't already, make sure that you're following them on their social media outlets. Everything is going to be down in my bio, the installation, the link to the headlights, their social media outlets, my social media outlets. And if you guys have any questions, make sure to drop the comments down below. I'm going to try and get back to any and all questions that you guys have on these. So thank you guys for watching, and don't forget, make sure to like, subscribe, let me know what you guys want to see, what you want to hear, and thanks for watching.